We've said it before, and we'll say it again, nothing in Beyond the Map's Edge is random. Page 152 might just prove that. Because this isn't just a page with a bear. This is a page with the Bear the Undaunted Spirit, a 14-foot bronze grizzly created by Lorenzo Giglieri, sitting outside a Brown Bear car wash in Everett, Washington. And if you're reading closely, the puns are just for fun. They might be hiding direction. The bear is real. The location is real. Even more telling is the use of phrases like, he fell in love with the rugged Washington landscape, but enriched by years of researching, documenting, and leaning, a message for the present and hope for the future. Sound familiar? It echoes the past and future box theme. The past and future box is another treasure hunt from the book There's Treasure Inside. But now, back to this hunt. The statue is located in Everett, Washington, Snohomish County, specifically in Port Gardner. That's not far from Seattle, a city referenced with plenty of sly bear puns in the page's narrative. Could page 152 be one of many geocached Easter eggs planted throughout the book? If other pages match real locations like this, the illustrations may not be symbolic, they may be maps in disguise. Which brings us to the cover. Take a close look. Is that a bear in disguise? We see a figure hooded, rugged, mysterious. But look again. Broad shoulders, a heavy silhouette, a hunched posture. Could this be a personified bear, cloaked and hidden in plain sight? Is the guide on the cover actually the symbol we've been dancing around all along? Let's consider the possibilities. 1. Geographic marker grizzlies are found in specific U.S. regions, primarily the Pacific Northwest, Montana, Wyoming, and parts of Alaska. This could narrow our search zones. 2. Symbol of wilderness, untamed truth. The bear is a symbol of raw nature, of strength, solitude, and instinct. Maybe it represents the untamed edge of the mop, the place where modern tools fail, and the search becomes personal. 3. Totem or guardian. The bear might not be the treasure, it might be guarding it. Is the bear watching us in the illustrations? In the metaphors? In the way we interpret what's real and what's symbolic? So here's the big question. What is the bear telling us? Is it a trail marker? A symbolic protector? Or a guide in disguise, standing right there on the cover, leading us somewhere we haven't dared to go? Whatever the case, one thing's for sure. If you ignore the beret, you might be missing more than a clue. You might be missing the point. Let's turn our eyes from the map to the sky. Because the bearess, the grizzly, or Ursus Hombilis, as it's called in Beyond the Map's Edge, might not just be a creature of the forest. It might be a constellation, a direction, and a guide. First, let's clarify something. Ursus Hombilis isn't a recognized scientific name. It's likely a play on Ursus horribilis, the actual Latin classification for the North American grizzly bear. But the use of Ursus immediately sparks another connection, one you can see out a clear night. Ursa Major, the great bear, Ursa Minor, the little bear. These two constellations have been used for navigation for thousands of years. And what's nestled in Ursa Minor? The North Star Polaris, a fixed point in the night sky, a symbol of direction, guidance, and orientation. For ancient travelers and modern explorers alike, it was the star that always pointed home. So if the book references a bear, and the bear connects to Ursa, and Ursa points north, could the bear be telling us where to go? Let me take you back to 1805, deep in the heart of what we now call Montana. Lewis and Clark were months into their westward expedition. They had survived rivers, storms, starvation, but nothing had prepared them for the grizzly. On the banks of the Missouri River, near the present-day Great Falls, the Corps of Discovery encountered something far more terrifying than any hostile terrain: a massive bear, bigger than anything they'd imagined. Meriwether Lewis wrote about it in his journal. They'd heard stories from native tribes' tales of a bear that could shrug off bullets, chase down horses, and rip apart trees with a single swipe. The locals called it a white bear, a reference to the grizzly's lighter coat. At first, the crew thought the warnings were exaggerated. They were not. One night, a young scout named Private Hugh M.C. Neal left camp alone to get water. Moments later, a roar split the darkness, and M.C. Neal came tearing back to camp, pale and breathless, screaming that a grizzly had chased him onto a tree stump, where he stayed stranded until the bear finally wandered off. He was lucky. Other encounters didn't go so well. At one point, it took 10 shots to bring down a single grizzly. Even then, the animal managed to keep charging after the 7th. These weren't just animals, they were apex predators, and Lewis Clark had no choice but to respect the power of the bear. Our first reliable recorded information on the grizzly bear in Montana comes from Louis' active pen, as he tells of a superbly designed, high-shouldered quadruped possessing unpredictable vagaries, seasoned with a testy disposition, whose authority was absolute in asserting its continental supremacy. After crossing into Montana, the party frequently observed grizzlies between the mouth of the Yellowstone and the Great Falls of the Missouri. By the time they reached White Bear Island at the mouth of the Sun River, nearly every member of the expedition could boast of being chased by a uniquely designed mauling machine that was more than capable of killing men who dared to encroach into its terrain. Grizzlies were so numerous and aggressive at the falls area that bear alertness became a preoccupation. Lewis tended to discount earlier Mandan Indians' cautionary warnings about the ferocious white bear as grossly exaggerated. The grizzly encounter in the vicinity of Montana's Valley County on May 11, 1805, gave Lewis sufficient pause on the disposition and ferocity of the terrible bear. Lewis reports that the explorers were surprised at the sight of Private Bratton running toward them, frightened and hollering. Gasping for breath, he mentioned meeting a grizzly bear, which chased him about a half-mile. Lewis set out with 7 men in quest of this monster, and tracked the bear about a mile by following its blood trail. Finally, they found him, still perfectly alive. Although shot through the lungs by Bratton, the bear had summoned the strength to dig a bed in the soil 2 feet deep and 5 feet long. The bear was dispatched with 2 lead balls to the head. Lewis now had to confess that he did not like these gentlemen, and would rather fight 2 Indians than 1 bear. Colorado. A land of soaring peaks, deep canyons, and wild, wild bears. Let me tell you a true tale from the late 1800s, tucked in the rough country near Deadman's Gulch, close to what we now know as Gunnison County. Back then, it was a remote patch of wilderness. Fur trappers passed through. Prospectors panned for gold in icy creeks. And legends were born. According to stories passed down by locals and, even logged in early mining journals there, was a bear unlike any other. A massive, silver-tipped grizzly, said to be nearly 9 feet tall on its hind legs. It didn't flee from gunshots. It didn't back down from men. It watched from ridgelines, stalked the edges of campfires, and some claimed it had intelligence in its eyes. One winter, a young trapper named Elias Brigham went missing. His partner found his camp torn apart, shredded tents, broken tools, but no sight of Elias himself, just a massive paw print the size of a frying pan burned into the snow. And this eerie detail, his rifle was found 10 feet away, unfired. Over the next decade, sightings of the ghost bear continued. Ranchers near Crested Butte would find their cattle mutilated but untouched, as if for intimidation, not food. Locals started calling it Old Silverback, and by the early 1900s, the bear had become both a boogeyman and a guardian spirit. Some said it protected sacred land. Others swore it was a vengeful spirit of a native warrior reincarnated. Even today, some hikers claim to feel watched near Deadman's Gulch. And a few still whisper about the bear whose prints don't melt in the snow. So what do we make of it? Just another frontier ghost story? Or maybe something more? In Beyond the Map's Edge, the bear keeps showing up. Washington, Montana, maybe even Colorado. And this story? It's a reminder that sometimes the guardian of the treasure isn't a man in a cloak, it's a force of nature. Big, silent, watching. This is Beyond the Map's Edge. And in Colorado, the bear still walks.
Searching for a whisper in the pines. Mystery lurks in the shadow of the oaks. Legacy of treasure buried echoes of yore weave the tale. Forest fence whispers still alive. Once a dream, now a winding trail. New quests on the horizon arrive. Stars guide the restless hearts, following the call of ancient charts. Whispers lead for those who start to chase the dream with insatiable smarts. Beyond the map, where secrets lie, hearts race beneath the endless sky. Riches wait, world goes sigh, adventurers take the leap and fly. Beyond the map, where secrets lie, hearts race beneath the endless sky. Riches wait, world goes sigh, adventurers take the leap and fly. Stars guide the restless hearts, follow